on guys, it's Scott Crow from OSA, and I want to show you guys something. Over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to show you what goes on into putting in a big build. When we install a reef aquarium, what we do, how we prep it, and everything that goes into it. So follow us over the next 3 weeks right here in this video. When we do these builds, we specialize up to about 300-gallon tanks. Why do we do that? Well, we strictly stick to marine land. I love marine land tanks, I love the warranty on them, and I really like the success rate we have with these. They're fantastic quality, and I love what we have to work with. So we always use marine land for all our installs. Tanks are in, all inspect to make sure no cracks, everything looks good. Now to get them inside the building and start setting everything up. Once we have the tanks in, we still have to wait for the other equipment, for sumps, power heads, pumps, plumbing, and everything else we need. So this is just the beginning part. We get it in, we start setting it up, and then I'm gonna start showing you what goes into once we have everything, and then the start of the build. We do these big builds, everything's based on the budget. You know, you always got your Cadillac, you have your Ford Pinto, and then you got your Ford Mustang, so where you're starting off from. So we base it on the budget where the owner wants to go with it. And for this build, we're Logan from Reef Breeders. Why? Because Logan's got some fantastic quiet pumps, the Photon V2s, DC pumps, and also protein skimmers. They're gonna work fantastic for this build and the budget. Behind me is our canvas now. We got the tank up on the stand. We're using the marine land stand, which I absolutely love because the dual doors, which makes working on and installing a sump so much easier and so much better. It's also work for anybody trying to do any work inside it and underneath an aquarium system like this, so we can work on the sump with no issues. This is key and is really important. Also, the other thing I like about it is the height of the stand. You might not think that's important, but when you're dealing with things like UV sterilizers, excess room to reach bulkheads, and protein skimmers accessibility, this comes in huge play. Right here, you see the 150, and we always use the dual overflows. I love this. That's why I go with marine land. Tank is all set up. Now we put the canopy on. The issue we ran into is we've seen the canopy for the 180 gallon and also the 220. The 180 gallon and 220 all have that 24 inches deep, so they made it so you can lift it up. The 150 does not do that. So what we did is we had somebody customize it, and you can see on the top they put a gold rim strap on it all the way across, so it's gonna, and then cut it to the sides, and then we custom made this molding, so this now lifts up on its own, so you don't have to take the canopy off to clean the tank. Makes life way easier. Now for a sump, we went in and we used the Proflex, Aquarium Proflex for it. Now that was not the original idea. I originally wanted to do the eShop's new ADV Advanced 300. The issue was on the marine land 150, you got 18 inches, but the actual space inside, you only got 16. The new ADV by eShops is 16.5. In other words, it didn't fit. It was off by a half an inch, not a half an inch. So we had to go from there. So what we went was the Aquarium Proflex 4 and then customize it for the sump. Issue we ran onto in this install was, well, Aquarium changed the way they did the bulkheads. They used to do an over bulkhead, but what they did is they made it pretty much for their design for a soft pump. This is the bulkhead. This is where the tubes would fit right to it, and then it'd connect to their tank. But we're using a marine land tank. Why? Because I just like marine land way better. When in doubt, customize everything. This is the final finished product. You can customize all the way here down. And we have the sign flow, so this here is gonna come off, and then we made these pipes so you can access it, and then these go up here to keep it a nice quiet flow. So we try to make this as easy as possible. That connects here, comes down, and you get a nice bolt trap. And the back, I don't know if you guys see it, so we're running a 57-watt UV sterilization system. These are really important to us. Anyone that's ran into a crypt or an ick issue inside their tank, also for free-floating algae spores, this helps out huge. I love UV sterilizers. One of the issues we ran into in the field one time was if a UV sterilizer quart sleeve breaks, now you can't run the system. So we had to change that. So you can see the pipes we're working on right now is there's a ball valve here and a ball valve here. That's if the quart sleeve ever breaks, you can shut that off and bypass it and go straight into the sumps and run it without a UV sterilizer and be able to take that UV sterilizer off, fix it, do what you gotta go, put it back on, and make it so you can go right back to using the UV sterilizer. You can see this a little bit better. All right, so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about is what is going to come up here. Now we're using a Jacquard pump on this. We're using the 9000. It's good power. I like these. I like also how you can control the flow on them, but I still like to use a ball valve. Especially right here, I can control it, and also it's a ball valve with unions. Comes up, I like the red PVC because I love that contrast. You gotta admit, that contrast looks pretty awesome. So this goes here and it can run through. Now, I'll normally shut this off and let all the power run to the UV. Because I want as much water go through the UV sterilizer as it can. I know this controversial terms when some people are like, well, you're killing all the excess bacteria. No, I'm just killing the free-floating bacteria. I want to keep all the bacteria that's in the aquarium from the live rock, but I don't need all this free-floating bacteria. I just don't need it. So you can see this right here, this ball valve and this one, that goes to UV sterilizer. God forbid this breaks on me. Something goes wrong. Quart sleeve shatters, because it has happened. I've been on a job where it's done. Now you can't run the tank. So I can take this, turn that off, and then I can run everything bypass that right through here and right up the top. Biggest key to a reef aquarium: lighting, flow, and filtration. Sump's all installed, and what you guys see in a Reef Breeders DCS 700. We also have running everything with a DCS 9000 for a pump, and then we're going to be running with Reef Breeders Photon V2s, baby! All done with the red PVC Schedule 40 plumbing, and then you can see absolutely everything else between ball valves and everything else, along with a bypass for the UV sterilizer. When we do these installs, we go all in. We absolutely love it, and we love having that opportunity. We have an Apion ProFlex 4 that we actually upgraded and changed out and redid for bulkheads and things like that for better flow issues with them when we do this hard PVC plumbing. So this is the final product. Now, one of you guys is thinking, well, that's cool and all, but you guys just installed it at the shop and it's not there. I'm going to tell you why. There's nothing worse on an install that takes too long, or you start having issues while you're there, you're needing parts. Nobody's got time for that, neither do I. We do all installs in shop. We pre-build and everything else. Everything is done with unions. So back here you can actually see all the union setups. So we can literally unhook this whole system, take it, break it apart, bring it on site, and rehook it all up, just like a big Erector set. The other thing that works out well with this is if the owner ever has to move the tank, or if the tank ever has to be moved, it becomes apart very easily in 2 to 3 pieces, which is absolutely awesome, and that's why we build them this way. But now all the plumbing's done, let's get these doors shut, and then we're gonna start getting ready for the install. So while we're loading up, you can see 1, 2, 3 trucks. Reason being, you're gonna see how we set it up. Because we have all that PVC coming off the bulkheads, we gotta be very careful on how we go about it. Right, Kyle?
Right. Ready to lift the tank. Are you excited about this?
Yes. I'm super excited about it.
I can totally tell.
So what we're doing today, because we finished all our services.
Yeah.
We had 2 days worth of services.
I know. I know
Just to
you guys
lift
did
the tank for you today.
2 days worth of services. Trust me. I could tell yesterday when I saw the expression on
We
both
get a
their
bonus,
faces.
right? Yeah. Where's our bonus?
I wasn't going to talk about it in front of everybody. God, especially on social media.
Installation convoy is ready. Let's go. When we do these systems, moving the tank inside is the biggest issue. So what we do is we move the stand in first, then we move the tank, and it usually takes about 4 people to do that because you have those pipes coming off the bulkhead. You gotta be really careful, not only to not break the bulkhead, but make sure the pipe as well. Install's all set. We're getting ready to get off the site, and now I gotta feed these guys. Install's all set today. We're back at the shop. We'd love to show you guys more vids when we're on site, but it's very weird when you're taking videos, when you have a client right there at someone's house and showing it off. So we tried to do as much as we can, but it went over very well.
Very smooth process today.
And you guys can see all the products we use. So many different, we use 4 different distributors on that, and it takes a while. It takes about 3 weeks to get everything in, to do an install about that size. But when it's all said and done, it comes out absolutely awesome.
Super rewarding. It was a great time. It was a blast. It took us about, what, 4.5 hours, 5 hours to complete?
5 hours complete once we were on site, and that's why doing the plumbing ahead of time is so important. And this way here we can do the whole job in one section. Anything else you want to add, Kyle?
Nothing. It was a blast. The guy was great.
Yeah, you
Wicked
loved it.
Nice.
Loved it.
And
I love
awesome
that.
dog too.
That's it.
And then yeah, the tank is going to be up and running. We set up all his lights, everything. He's good to go from now on.
So if you guys like that, wait till you see the build we do for Fragtoberfest.
Woohoo!
Make sure you follow us on Facebook, and make sure you hit hashtag Fragtoberfest if you guys want to see that big frag tank build. All right, guys, we're out here. Keep on reefing, baby. Woo!